Hey, have you ever thought about what your retirement is really going to look like? You know, those golden years where you finally get to relax and enjoy life? Well, I hate to break it to you, but for a lot of people, retirement isn't all sunshine and beach vacations. In fact, it's becoming a serious struggle. Today, let's talk about why America's retirement system isn't as secure as we thought, and why so many seniors are finding themselves in financial trouble. Here's the thing. People are living way longer than they used to. Back in 1950, the average life expectancy was around 68 years. Now, it's nearly 79, and many folks are making it into their 90s. Sounds great, right? More time with family, more time to travel. But there's a catch. Your savings need to last a whole lot longer. And for a lot of retirees, they're just not prepared for that. According to the Federal Reserve, the average savings for people nearing retirement is about $107,000. That might sound like a lot, but if you break it down, that's less than $400 a month if you're trying to make it last. That's barely enough for rent in most places, let alone food, medical bills, and everyday expenses. No wonder so many retirees are struggling. All right, let's talk about Social Security. Most people assume that when they retire, Social Security will be there to cover a big portion of their expenses. But the truth is, it was never meant to be a retiree's primary income source. It was designed as a supplement to pensions and personal savings. But with pensions disappearing and savings running low, more and more retirees are relying on Social Security alone. And that's a big problem. Back in 1940, there were over 40 workers for every retiree receiving Social Security benefits. Today, just 2.8 workers per retiree. And by 2035, that number is expected to drop even further. With fewer people paying into the system and more people living longer and collecting benefits, Social Security is under serious strain. The Social Security Administration itself has warned that if nothing changes, the trust fund could be depleted by 2034. What does that mean? It means that without intervention, retirees might see benefit cuts of up to 20 to 25%. Imagine expecting $800 per month and suddenly getting only $1,350. That could be the difference between paying rent or putting food on the table. And let's be real, most retirees are already struggling. Currently, nearly 40% of seniors rely on Social Security for at least half of their income. For some, it's their only income. But the average monthly benefit is around $1,027 as of 2023. Now, if you live in a low-cost area, maybe you can stretch that. But in places where rent is sky high and medical costs are through the roof, that's barely enough to scrape by. So what can be done? Well, the government has a few options: raising taxes, increasing the retirement age, or cutting benefits. None of those are popular, but something has to give. In the meantime, if you're not already retired, you should be thinking about how to supplement Social Security, because relying on it alone, that's a dangerous game. Let's be real, healthcare in America is ridiculously expensive. And when you retire, those costs don't just go away, they actually go up. The average 65-year-old couple today will need around $315,000 just to cover healthcare expenses in retirement. And that doesn't even include long-term care. Medicare helps, but it doesn't cover everything. Many seniors still have to pay for supplemental insurance, out-of-pocket expenses, and long-term care. You might ask, what about a nursing home? That can run over $100,000 a year. What of home health care? Easily $50,000. Unless you have long-term care insurance or significant savings, these costs can wipe you out fast. Remember when people retired with a guaranteed pension? Those days are mostly gone. In the past, many workers could count on pensions from their employers. Steady, predictable income for life. But over the past few decades, companies have been ditching pensions in favor of 401ks, which puts all the responsibility on individuals. The problem? Most people don't save enough in their 401ks. A lot of folks don't even have access to a retirement plan through work. And even if they do, financial literacy is a major issue. Many don't know how much they should be saving, what to invest in, or how to manage their money in retirement. To make matters worse, 401ks are vulnerable to market downturns. If the market crashes right before you retire, your savings could take a massive hit, leaving you with way less than you expected. Unlike pensions, which provided a steady paycheck for life, a 401k requires careful planning and constant management. And let's be honest, most people aren't trained for that. So if you're working now, the best thing you can do is start saving early, maximize your contributions, and educate yourself on investing. Because the days of relying on a pension? Those are long gone. Now, let's talk about inflation, the silent money killer. Even if you manage to save up a decent nest egg, inflation can really eat into your purchasing power. Think about it. If inflation averages 2 to 3% per year, that $1,000 you have today might only buy what $800 or less will in 20 years. It's like watching your money shrink before your eyes. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the cost of living has been steadily increasing. Essentials like groceries, healthcare, and housing are getting more expensive every year. For seniors on fixed incomes, these rising costs mean that the money they save just doesn't go as far. What used to be an affordable dinner out might soon be a luxury. Imagine budgeting for a fixed income, and then seeing your monthly expenses creep up without any extra money coming in. That's the reality for many seniors, and it forces tough choices about what to cut from their budgets. It's not just an economic issue, it's a quality of life issue. Have you noticed more seniors working these days? It's not always because they want to. Often they need the extra cash to make ends meet. The traditional image of retirement, sitting back and relaxing, is changing. More seniors are taking on part-time jobs or gig work to bridge the gap between expenses and their income. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the labor force participation rate for Americans aged 65 and over has jumped from around 12% in the early 2000s to nearly 20% today. That's a significant increase, and it reflects how many retirees are finding that their savings just aren't enough. Now, while working later in life can be great for staying active and connected, the reality is that many of these jobs are temporary or lack benefits like healthcare and retirement security. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you get some extra income, but on the other, it highlights that the safety net many of us expected just isn't strong enough. And then there's life, unpredictable as ever. A sudden medical emergency, a major home repair, or an unexpected market downturn can wipe out your savings in an instant. In fact, recent surveys show that a significant portion of retirees, up to 60%, have had to dip into their savings for unforeseen expenses, leaving little room for error. These unexpected shocks often force retirees into tough choices. such as cutting essential spending or delaying necessary repairs, which can further strain their already tight budgets. Without a robust emergency fund, even a single crisis can derail years of careful planning. That's why it's crucial to build a safety net. Experts recommend setting aside at least 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This buffer not only helps absorb the financial blow of life's surprises, but also provides peace of mind, ensuring that your retirement remains as comfortable as you planned. So what can you do? Well, the key is to start planning as early as possible. Diversify your income, save more than you think you'll need, and educate yourself on investments and retirement strategies. If you're already retired, it's not too late to make adjustments. The sooner you take action, the better off you'll be. Talking of taking action, watch this video next on the 10 best places to retire on a budget. This might be a strategy to consider. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk about travel and retirement.